We have Anthony. Oh, yeah. Call attention. We want Leah or Sherry first.
Leah has Jared David, Sherry has Christopher Ferron.
Who's Leah's?
Leah is Jared David.
Good, Jared David. Hello.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good. How are you?
Good. And this is Mr. Davis.
Yes.
And I do have a copy of the mental health assessment, and I will consider for the purpose of hearing. Did you want to call your client?
Yes, please.
All right. If you would raise your right hand to be sworn. You swear or affirm testimony about to give me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Mr. Davis, you're being held on a misdemeanor theft charge. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And somebody came by to give you what we call a mental health assessment. Do you remember that?
I do.
And you've answered some questions, and I'm going to ask you some of the same questions. Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental health disorder?
I have.
And what are those diagnoses that you've received?
So officially is depression or bipolar depression. I think that there's some other things, but they haven't been officially diagnosed, at least as of yet, that I know of.
Okay, when did you receive the diagnosis?
The official ones, they were around 10 years ago. I was at Green Oaks on an inpatient.
Okay. I also see in the mental health assessment, post-traumatic stress disorder and bipolar disorder. Are those the ones that are not official yet?
Yes.
And you've been prescribed medications in the past?
I have.
And it kind of looks like you may not remember what they were. Do you remember any of the medications you've taken in the past?
They're mostly for depression. I believe one of them was Wellbutrin, but it was a series of different ones they were trying out and trying to figure out the correct amounts and things. I don't remember the exact names at the time.
When you were arrested, were you taking medications?
I was not. No.
Okay, and I also noticed that there is a history of some usage of illegal substances, which you understand you're not allowed to self-medicate, right? Especially not on illegal substances, correct?
Yes.
And part of the deal for mental health bond is that if you are allowed a bond, you would be required to potentially do random drug tests. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Sam.
Okay. And if you were to get a mental health bond, you would have to go to LifePath and see professionals. And if they prescribe any medications, you'd have to be willing to comply with all of their instructions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I noticed too that on your action plan, or what we call like, what are you going to do if you get out of here and wait for your case on the outside? Who would you be living with?
I have an address. It's with my parents, my dad in Allen, Texas.
And would you have transportation through your parents to get to LifePath?
I would.
Okay. And would you have a cell phone or a way of calling Tony Fox once a week?
Hi. Yes, I would. There's actually, my dad had already set up a phone for me to have. So if I do get out, it's already there.
Great. Okay. So, and are you receiving medications in jail?
I am.
Okay. I also see on your action or on your action plan that you've attended some college. When was that?
Well, it's been a few years since I've attended, but I graduated with an associate's degree And then I went back and actually got a medical assistant degree a few years after that. That was probably around 2010, 2012, somewhere in there.
Okay, so if you are granted this mental health bond and have this opportunity to seek treatment, do you believe that you'd be able to turn your life around and this would be a good opportunity to start doing so?
Absolutely. I have plans for employment, and then I'd like to start my own company, everything as well.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Does the state have any questions?
No questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else from the defendant?
Just in closing, I'd please allow Mr. Davis the mental health bail with hope that life path can prevail. There are no assaultive offenses, and he's come to his senses, and he will always need treatment outside of jail.
Okay. Does the state have anything else to add?
Yeah, Your Honor, I'd like to just read his criminal history into the record, if that's okay.
Can you do it in the form of a limerick?
I cannot.
Okay, fine.
In 2012, the defendant was arrested for driving while intoxicated with an open container, and subsequently sentenced to 4 days jail. In 2021, he was arrested for interference with public duties, resisting arrest, or evading. And on both of those, he was sentenced to 60 days jail. A month later, he was also arrested for theft of property, where he was also convicted of 60 days jail. Later on in 2021, a few months later, he was arrested for fraudulent use of possessing or identifying info, and subsequently also sentenced to 60 days. He was arrested in September of 2021 for possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1/1B, and sentenced to 30 days jail. He was arrested in November of 2021 for possession of a controlled substance, category 3 misdemeanor, and subsequently sentenced to 30 days jail. He was arrested again in September of 2021 for fraudulent use of, also for fraudulent use or possession of identifying info, and sentenced to 30 days jail. And picked up for theft in November of 2021, and also sentenced to 30 days jail. Before these pending cases now, and he was arrested in Las Vegas for, it looks like, burglary of an auto vehicle, where he pled guilty and was sentenced to 3 years probation. And state closes at this time.
Any argument from the state?
Due to the defendant's criminal history and the mental health assessment, we will oppose a PR bond at this time.
Yeah, you have a lot of criminal history. I'm hoping it's all drug related. The problem is I'm also concerned that you have a drug problem instead of a mental illness, but I'm going to give you a shot at it. We're going to get you out of jail on a PR bond with the intent of getting you some help and some treatment. Okay. It's a one-time shot. If you don't take advantage of it, I mean, I can't help you down the road. You've got to call Tony every week and let her know how you're doing. You've got to come see me once a month. Expect to be drug tested. If you have anything in your system other than what's supposed to be in your system, expect to go back to jail. Okay. Did you want to say anything, Tony?
Yes. Okay, Jared, my name's Tony, as was stated. You'll be on my caseload, and I'm going to give Wes and Danita a call and let them know that you'll be released this evening. What I want you to do is give me a call tomorrow so we can put things in motion to get you into treatment as quickly as possible, get you evaluated for substance abuse treatment as soon as possible. And we have check-in with the judge next week. So got a lot going on. You want to stay in contact with me, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Good luck. Give Tony a call, let her know anything you need. We'll help you as much as we can, but you've got to do some of this on your own, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you next week.
May be excused.
Yes, ma'am. See you.
Thank you.
So Sherry Adams. And
How you guys doing today?
Good, how you doing?
Doing fine.
You are Christopher, is it?
Yes, sir.
Rang?
Yes, sir.
Rang?
H,
Okay.
yes, sir. Haran.
I'm here.
Are you driving?
I am actually parked in a parking lot. I have an 11 o'clock appointment.
Okay, fine. All right. Mr. Rang, you are charged with burglary of vehicles and the. I do have a copy of the mental health assessment, and I will consider for the purpose of this hearing. Did you want to call your client and testify?
Yes, I would.
All right. If you would raise your right hand and be sworn, Mr. Rang. You swear or affirm the testimony about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Christopher, you've been diagnosed with several mental health illnesses. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The primary one, bipolar 1, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you discussed a plan with Joseph Hill about what you would do when you when and if you're released from jail?
Yes, I really, I have. I discussed it that I'm going straight to Life Path, which is only about a mile down the street, and I'm going to go ahead and get registered in because I didn't get my Vega when. Okay, sorry.
Okay. And in order, I mean, you know that you have to address your mental illness, but you also admitted to abusing alcohol and drugs. Do
Yes,
you know
ma'am.
that you have to address those two issues as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you planning on doing that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you feel better when you're on your psych meds?
Oh, yes, I do. This is a lot better.
Okay. Okay. And are you better when you get the shots?
Yes, yes, yeah. That this would never have came to pass.
Okay. Okay. And who will you be living with?
My mother and my new dad.
Okay. And they live here in McKinney?
Yes, ma'am. 1004 Cole Street, 75069, Collin County, McKinney, Texas.
So you're at least within walking distance to Life Path.
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right off the
and
Sunset.
Okay. And if necessary, you're within walking distance of the courthouse.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
So
if you can't find a ride, you know that you can get there at least on your own 2 feet, correct?
yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have anything else that you need to tell the judge about your plan?
Well, I needed to come here to learn my lesson.
Okay.
And I do apologize for the way I was earlier when she spoke with me when I got arrested here in process. I know I was a bit out of it, and I'm sorry for the downfall of the chemicals and the drugs, and I apologize for my demeanor. So I just wanted to pull up on that.
Since you brought that up, were you on your medications when you were arrested?
No, ma'am. I was not on any of my medications, and that was the whole exact problem. Is that I should have been on medications. That way, this would have never happened. But now I got a good start. Get medication because I'm on it now. I went through process and labs and everything.
And you know you have to stay on them, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There's no buts about it. I need it.
Okay, I pass the witness.
Any questions from the state?
Couple, Your Honor. So you're currently getting medication while you're in jail right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went through labs and monitoring blood tests to get it and everything. I'm proud that I have it. I needed it.
And so it's clearly helping you while you've been in jail and being on it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Abilify. It's the lowest dosage, and I'm just surprised that a low dosage could make you process yes, sir. I'm putting all birds in the coop together right now, sir. If that makes any sense.
Yes, sir. And you know, if the judge is giving you, if he gives you a PR bond, you know that you'll have to abstain from any drug or alcohol use while you're out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Just as long as I get the medication.
And so you'll be living with your mom, and you said her new husband.
Yes, sir. Raymond Murray and Frederica Crable. Danielle is my mother, and my sister too. She has her own place, but in case if need, I can stay with her. It doesn't matter. I got my own room.
Okay. And they are going to be your primary mode of transportation.
Yes, sir, as well as my peer cancer guide.
Okay. No more questions, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defendant? You're muted now. You have to talk really loud.
That wouldn't help, would it? No, I rest and close, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Okay. Does the state have anything else?
Yeah, Your Honor. I would just like to read the defendant's criminal history into the record.
Okay.
In 2002, as a juvenile, the defendant was arrested for burglary of a habitation and subsequently adjudicated in 2003 and sentenced to 12 months probation. In 2005, he was arrested for criminal trespass and sentenced to 12 months probation or 12 months deferred, where he was continued and extended by 6 months. In 2008, he was arrested for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Those charges were eventually dropped by the arrested agency. In 2008, he was also, or a month later in 2008, he was arrested for aggravated robbery, where he was sentenced to 2 years TDCJ. He was arrested again in 2019 for theft of property and given 12 months deferred on that, where he was subsequently revoked and sentenced to 12 days. In 2020, he was arrested again for theft, class B, and sentenced to 12 days. Before picking up these most recent charges.
Anything else?
At this time.
Any argument from the state?
Just due to the defendant's criminal history and the mental health assessment, we would oppose a motion oppose the PR bond at this time.
Mr. Harang, I'm going to go ahead and give you a bond at this time and give you a shot at getting things going for you. Okay, you need to take only the medication that you're supposed to take.
Yes, sir.
If there's anything in your system that's not supposed to be in your system, that's a violation of your bond.
Yes,
We will drug test you every time we see you. So
Yes,
expect
sir.
to be drug tested.
I admit I need a leash. I admit. We all do. Yes.
Keep in touch with Tony. You'll call her every week.
Yes, sir.
And you'll come see me once a month. I think next week's when you'll come see me. And then if you need anything, let Tony know. We'll do what we can do to help you, but you've got to do this on your own, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tony, do you want to share? Do you want to share anything else?
Yeah, Christopher, I'm Tony saying, and you will be on my caseload. I'm here to help you.
Yes, ma'am.
I ask you to call me tomorrow so that I know that you made it home okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that we can get you over to LifePath and get you started in services immediately. I'm going to go ahead and notify them that you've been stating you need an Invega shot.
Yes, it's a
We need to
Sustenna,
get
am I
you
correct?
started. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So call me tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And
Yep.
if you see something that's not yours, leave it alone, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck.
God bless
Thank
you.
y'all.
Thank
Please,
you. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir. God bless.
Yeah.
May I be